which is totally different to I don't want to know and are closed down and shut off. That's a different process altogether. That's a cutting off. I've gone to sleep, I'm not conscious, I don't want to know, I just want to hide and be totally individual. The other is an opening up, a surrender. Sacrificing your shit to the fire. Now I've gone through that whole story. If you can make this conscious connecting link, somehow get to work with this fire in every possible aspect you can apply it. Not just in here in a meditative way, but in every aspect of your life, and make this conscious connection to it. I guarantee this will work. If you can learn to relax and let go, if you have a problem to that, observe how you have a shit. That's the way. Because if you can't let go, guess what? You're full of shit. You get sick. You know, when you get up in the morning and go to the dunny, watch what happens. You know, you try and hang on to it, it gets uncomfy. You know, literally you've got to go. When we're hanging on to emotional stuff, we get uncomfortable emotionally. And it's as simple as letting go. But what we haven't got rid of is the crystalline structure, the pattern, the mechanism that creates the emotional thing we do. That takes breaking down. We'll call in alchemy, we have a thing called digestion. You know, you sort of, in digestion it sort of distills a lot and stuff. Well, when we digest things, we chew it over and chew it over and chew it over, and then it's gone. And it happens automatically, you don't have to think about it, it's quite economical, your body digests. So if you chew it over, chew it over, chew it over, until there's nothing left to extract, and then you can swallow it. It's key there. Swallowing it. You know, you have to accept it. Because if you can't swallow it, it's stuck there. So if you're still blaming or doing all that sort of shit, and we all do it, it's always someone else's fault. If you're doing all that, you're not swallowing it. You've somehow got to accept it, swallow it, and take from it. You've got to learn something from it. One of the simplest things that I use for myself in that situation, when shit happens, the first thing I want to know is, why didn't I see this coming? Where was I? I was somewhere else. I wasn't present. And then I can see, if I backtrack and say, oh look, there's a sign, I could have seen that, I can learn. If it only expands my awareness, hey, there's a bit more light, I'm a bit smarter. But inevitably I'll gain something else. If I take the trouble out to do that one, I'll gain something else, because in that process I'm starting to transmute the experience. It's our duty as human beings to take those experiences and grow from them. They're our experiences to gain enlightenment. No matter how horrendous they are, that's what they're there for. That's our duty. If that fire's alive in there, that's what we got to do. And if we can stay with it, we will do it. It's not a hard thing to do. In theory, we don't have to know a lot, but shit, we got to work hard. Got to work real hard. So, when you relax and let go, like the hangman card said, and you've got the fire, then you can start, well, that alchemic process will start to extract the quintessence, the essence of what it's all about. You know, like I kicked my toe today, what it's all, well, you've got to let the whole drama go first. When you let the drama go, there's space. And when there's space, nature will always fill it. And it will fill it basically by your intent. And your intent to create that space is to, one, get better and get smarter. So therefore, ideas will come. And that's where the magician, the other aspect of Mercury, gets real smart. Because dealing with ideas and things that come into the mind. Some of them are bullshit and some of them are real. And you can get led astray. The simplest key that I found to that is a thing I call a hook. Because if you're going to catch a fish, you've got to have a hook. And we have hooks, what I call hooks. And those hooks will bring us into things by the law of attraction, will bring us, or sympathy, bring us into certain situations, make us even think about certain things. You know, if I say elephant, then you start thinking of fat grandmothers, then that elephant is a hook to evoke from you fat grandmothers. Then it starts a process. So, what's the issue with fat grandmothers? What is it that's taking you away from your relaxation? What have you got to surrender? What have you got to digest? All the time, every moment, we've got to sort of start to stay awake and see what's going on. Jesus said about the disciples, you know, the night before he went to the cross, he said, can't you guys stay awake with me for a minute? And everybody thinks they were just all falling asleep. They were tired or they were pissed or something. They had the Last Supper and they had a few. That's not what it is. It's an archetypal story, you know. He was saying, be focused, be present. And this symbology, this alchemic story I'm telling you about, it's woven right throughout not only our culture, our mind, our body, everywhere. You see, this is a watch. And it's got a date thing, but you know, I can't bloody see it for the life of me. But what it's got 12 little numbers around it there. 12 disciples, 12 tribes, 12 signs, or 4 triplicities. And it's got a big hand, a little hand, and a second hand. 3 aspects of the spirit. But we were smart enough to create a watch and a timepiece so we could get caught in time, which is the elements. Or is it reminding us of the truth and the way? So what happens? All those guys move around there. What are they moving around? When you look at the clock changes, but it's the same time. It's always right now. What's the time now? Not what's the time yesterday. The time yesterday, you know, the time tomorrow, is when you look at it then. It's now. Right here, right now. So our watch and our time, those 12 disciples, those faithful numbers that never leave the clock face, sit around the Master, the Lord, the Christ, the Buddha, whatever you want to call it, the now. And what takes us away from the now is all the bullshit we entertain. All the things we think are important, they're taking us away, and we're over there with them little numbers, doing a number somewhere, having a number somewhere, whatever the number is, we're doing it. Right here, right now. And the more we can be here right now, the freer we become. And to help us get here right now, we've got to be in touch with our body. Not off in some sort of dreaming, but right here, right now. So if you find your body is stressed, and you're in touch with your body, and you're in touch with here, you can get right here, right now. I've gone over this many times with the process of listening. Listening is the 5th chakra of 4. There's the base, the sacrum, the solar plexus, the heart, and the throat. There's earth, water, fire, air, and spirit. And the 3 aspects of spirit, 1, 2, 3.